Good morning, my lovely viewers. Welcome back to my channel. It's Belinda here. I'm going to be doing a little project that came about by accident. It's really easy, simple, and I think it's really cute. I'm using Nostalgic Noel papers from RachandBella Crafts. So let's get into it. I've pre-chosen out 3 papers. I'm going to make or attempt to make 3 of them. I have inked as much as I can before I do any more. So I've just kind of tried to shortcut on a few things for sake of time in the video. So I'm only going to do one at a time, so we'll see how many we get done. I'm going to start with this one. So printed paper, I'm just using A4 copy paper. You could use whatever paper you like. I've done it single-sided just because I couldn't really be bothered going to my printer and printing the other side, but I have got some way to decorate it up, so you can use double-sided paper if you prefer. Just need to make sure that one side is writable. Okay, if you don't want to do that, if you want to save yourself some printer ink, then perhaps do what I do. And yeah, so let's get into it. First off, I'm going to start by folding in half. Very simple, this, guys. It's not scary at all. It's not difficult. I'm sure you'll all be able to follow along on this one, as long as I can make myself sensible. The jury's out on that one. So this section here is going to be your front. Is it going to be the front, or is it going to be this one? I guess it doesn't really matter. But we're going to take, yeah, it's probably this side actually. We're going to take that and we're going to fold it right into that crease. So you want it pretty much up to the crease. We're going to make a little concertina style item here. In fact, this piece of paper is not copy paper, it is presentation paper. The other 2 are copy paper. So that's going to be the front. So then we're going to take this middle fold that we did, and if you, like me, you folded it the wrong way to start with, we're just going to fold it back the other way. And then going to take this last sheet and fold it to, last section, and fold it over this way. Gee, I feel like I'm being clear as mud so far. And then give them all a nice crease. Just looking for my bone folder here. Let's give it a nice press. Oops. So we have a fun little concertina bit. So decorative and then writing space. So I've inked around the edges, but I now want to round the corners. Totally optional. You don't have to round the corners if you don't want to, but I prefer the look. So I'm just going to whip around and punch those 4 corners. It's a little bit tough getting through all those layers, especially because it's presentation paper, which is a little heavier than copy paper, but it's doable. You might want to separate it out and just do a couple of layers depending on your punch. If you are rounding corners, like I said, you do not have to. Okay, so rounded the corners. Now I need to re-ink those edges and the other edges. So let's do the corners first. And then I also want to ink the fold, or the folds, the multiple folds. I'm only going to fully ink one of them. I won't do all 3. So once I've shown you where I'm inking, I don't think I need to put you through doing it on 3 of them. And if you're not an inker, just don't ink. You can skip this. It's totally optional. Now I'm going to fold it against itself to get that edge. And don't forget those corners. And this one. So basically every fold is being inked. So we've done all the outside, just doing a quick scan, make sure, because I was talking, that I didn't miss any, and I did miss that corner there. Oh, and this fold too. Double checking my own work. Just a good thing to do, I think. Sometimes I feel so scatterbrained. I don't know whether it's the time of year or whether it's just my age or things on my plate. I don't know. So we've separated it visually into panels through that inking. But I also want to do the same thing on the inside. So I'll try and whip through this as quickly as possible. It doesn't really take that long. But certainly not the most interesting viewing. I would not sit here and do all three, inking all the bits and pieces. So I've got both sides of that one, yes. I hope you're all having a great day, my friends. Whatever you're up to today. I am trying to get through as much work as possible at the moment. I realized this morning I have no videos recorded ahead for December, and we're on holiday for 3 weeks. So at this stage, I would say don't expect my regular schedule through December, at least for the, like, from the middle onwards. I just don't think I can get enough videos done, considering I've got none, to cover that whole period, because I just haven't got the time to do that. Right, so fully inked. Didn't really take that long, did it? So we're going to fold it back up into our concertina just to get a look at that. So I wanted to decorate the front up a bit, and when I was playing and sort of like, what do I want to put on the front, I've got this wax paper, red wax paper, so it's very waxy to the touch, and I realized I needed my double-sided tape out, and I thought, well, how about just a strip of paper down the front? So what did I do, 1/2 inch? I think I did about 1/2 inch, a 1/2 inch strip. So I'm just looking, where is the 1/2 inch on my board here? I think that's the 3/4, so it's right on the edge of the metal bit on my guillotine. Oh no, that looks too narrow. But it's fine, we'll just go with it. I'm pretty sure my prototype was wider, but that's okay. So we're going to go there, and I also need a shorter bit, so I'm going to do the same width from a shorter bit of paper, same paper. Now you could use a contrasting digital for this, or whatever paper you like. I've just got this waxy paper, and I was kind of been struggling on ways to use it because of the wax, and you can't write on it. Sticking it is a little bit trickier, and because I've made this narrower, I need my narrower tape. Is that that might be a bit dodgy to get that on straight, so we'll go with the narrowest one. Oops. So we're taking our long strip, and they are slightly different colour on. Are they? Yes, they are. So one's slightly darker. Maybe it's just one side's faded. It's quite possible. And I'm just going to, because it's waxy, I'm using double-sided tape. If you're using any other type of paper, then you just need to use glue stick or tacky glue or whatever your favourite glue is. But I don't trust those on the waxy surface, whereas I do have more confidence in the double-sided tape. So I'm not covering the whole thing, I'm just putting a strip down the middle, because it's not going to have anything tucked in or You know, it's not going to carry any weight or get anything popped in and out of it that's going to stress it. So just a single line of tape will be perfectly sufficient. I'm going to kind of try and eyeball middle-ish. Doesn't matter too much, but just trying to get it straight as well. And trim off the excess. So I think it would look super cute with a contrasting paper from the digital kit or whatever kit you're using for this. I would say this is probably more a Christmas specific idea. Although I'm sure if you were doing a birthday journal or something, just varying the colours would allow you to do that. Now I'm going to take the other strip, the shorter strip, and it needs to wrap around. So it needs to be long enough to go right around your piece. Don't make it super tight. You want it to have a little bit of movement there so that you can remove it, because this is a closure. We want to be able to access our paper. So, you know, it's going right round both sides. You could put a strip, actually, I didn't do this on my prototype, but you could put another red strip on the back. So it's like double-sided effect. Up to you. Okay, so I just need a bit of tape where it overlaps. So we'll go about there, should be fine. Take that off. Oh. And I thought, oh, the strip was deliberate, and then when I was playing around thinking, well, it needs some sort of closure to hold it together, and by accident I realized that we're making like a gift wrapped in ribbon. Can you see that, how it looks like a gift? Now it also looks like a cross, which if you have the faith is important at Christmas to us. So you know, it brings options to mind for me. Now, to further decorate that, I want to add a little something here. Now, my prototype, which I don't actually know where it's run away to, so I can't show it to you. There's some freebies of like a wreath with scripture in the middle, and I used that on my prototype, and it looked really good, and it fits with the cross, the idea of the cross. For this one, I'm going to go something a little less obviously Christian, and I mean, they would be super cute, wouldn't they? There's lots of options. You could literally use any of the fussy cuts from the kit. I do like the smaller items. Like we could put a gift on our gift, which is also cute. I feel like it's beautiful, but it's too big. There's probably a smaller version somewhere in here. Oh, like, what about this wee cutie? Not quite right, not for this. You could use one of the baubles, but with these ribbons out the side, they're not going to be attached to anything, so I would think they are prone to damage, because it's only going to be attached to this band here. So things to bear in mind when you're choosing out something. Oh, cute little, oh, I've got to use the puppies. I've got to use them. They are just adorable. So I'm going to run around them with the, I didn't say what colour ink I'm using. I'm using aged mahogany distress ink. Just going to run around them with that. Sorry, I neglected to let you know exactly what ink I was using. Very remiss of me. Okay, so just a cute little bit of ink. So I'm going to put a bit of tape, and I do this on the side that the seam is, because that way the seam is actually hidden. You could put the seam on the back instead, but then it's going to be, when you turn it over, you'll actually see the seam, whereas this way it's actually disappears. And this is just on regular copy paper. It's not reinforced with anything. It's not doubled up. You can if you want. And then you can just slide that off to access the writing space. Now, if it is slightly too tight, you can bend this a little bit and it goes on a lot easier. So that's a little trick. So just bend it a little bit and it also slides off easier too, just creating that little bit of a bend. Hopefully that demonstrated. But we're not quite finished. We have one more thing that I like to do. Now, options here, if you, like me, just went with the plain back of the paper, you can stencil it if you like, but I'm going to stamp it. And just a simple little element. Where did I put my stamps? Did I put them up? Yes, I put them at the top of the table. No, I didn't. Where are they? Just one moment, my friends. No, I buried them. I buried them. So silly of me. Okay, so I grabbed out a couple of just stamp options that I thought might be cute. I used this Christmas pudding one on my prototype, and this time I think I'll use the sweet candle. So grab out a block. And what colour ink? You can choose whatever colour you like. Just black maybe. Let's go black. And I'm just going to stamp it. Now, if you've chosen a very light coloured paper on this side, be careful with your ink because it might show through. Just a little warning, depending on what ink you're using as well, and the weight of your paper and what pattern is on the other side. So you might want to do a wee test. Oops, that was accidental. Oh well, we'll just kind of stamp over it and make it look. Oh my gosh, that did not stamp very well. Oh dear. Okay, plan B. Now, do I want to do it on white? Opportunity to introduce a spot of colour, but I have white to hand. This is not ideal. This is not what I wanted, but this also, if you have got a light colour paper, this is also the way that you can still stamp and not show through. I have not used this stamp before, so I'm wondering, is this stamp flawed or did I just not stamp it properly? So let's do it again on this bit of paper. I might actually have an air bubble under there. I think I do. So got to fix things on the fly. It was all going so swimmingly too. Just going to clean it so I can handle it without getting all inky. I'm going to re-put it on without hopefully that air bubble underneath, because I think that's what was causing the issue. And I just got ink on my fingertip because I put it in the ink pad. I'm a messy puppy today. Right, let's try it again. It's a beautiful little stamp, so I hope it is going to stamp nicely. See there, I've got that gap again in the middle. I'm not giving up yet. No, it's still giving me that. Well, that's really annoying. I did get one good impression, well, fair impression, Okay, well, let's go to another stamp then instead of wasting a whole heap of time. Oh, that's disappointing. That is really disappointing. Shall we try this holly branch? Not holly branch. Yes. Yes, holly. Had a mind moment there. I was thinking, in my head, I was thinking mistletoe, and I was saying the right thing and thinking the wrong thing. And I was like, oh no, I said the wrong thing. Oh, hang on. No, I didn't. So let's try this one. See if this one's better. And no, I've got a gap hanging happening there as well. What's going on? Oh, I'm struggling, friends. This is not fun. Most of these stamps I have not used. Like the Christmas pudding worked beautifully. I've also used, have I used anything else? No, I don't think I have actually used anything else off of this. Shall we try the Christmas stocking? Give that a go. Like, we've already wasted some time with 2 stamps that weren't stamping properly, so let's give this one a whirl. This is now my test strip. That one's better. Okay, we're going with Christmas stocking. And since we're going with Christmas stocking, I think I might do it in red. So, grab out the red. I still need paper because I need to cover this mess. This is why I keep offcuts of my printables, because they're so jolly handy. Right, so I need 4 of these is what I need now that we've got one that's working. And instead of stamping it directly on the paper, oops, we don't want the hair in there though. Have I got it? I think I have. We're now using a piece of paper instead. And I missed a bit. Oh my gosh, this is a mission. This is a mission. Yeah, see now I'm getting, is there like a bump in my mat or something, or a hollow? Let's stamp over to the side here. That one was better. Okay, we just need 4 good ones. It's not a huge ask, is it? One would think. One would think that would be relatively easy. So I need yet another strip of paper. 3, one more. It's a little bit missing, but it's barely noticeable. So just stamping over to the side because it seems to be, for some reason, working a little bit better. Okay, we have 4. I'm going to stop messing around. I'm sorry for all the troubles there. That was just very disappointing. I hope those stamps will stamp okay. I just need to perhaps pay a bit more attention, play a bit more with them. Okay. This one I ended up like doing a double impression, but I'm just going to go with it. It's only in some areas. So I'm wondering if I fussy cut this out, will it cover that? I'm going to give it a go. And doing a kiss cut rather than a fussy cut, just to give it a little bit more space around it to cover that candle. And if this is going to work to cover, then I'll just pause the camera and cut the rest out. I won't go through it all, cutting them all out with you guys. I don't think you'll want to see me do that, especially with the same image. So just leaving a little white border around the edge. No, it's not going to. Bother. So it's going to have to be a square cut. And I need to stamp another stocking, apparently. This is actually an offcut of presentation paper too. I can tell by the feel of it. That's not straight. That's better. And I'm just going to round, because this corner is rounded, I'm just going to round this one corner on the piece. Oh, I did not want to cut it. Don't know why. It's not the same depth of corner, but that's okay. I just want a little corner there, just so it doesn't like poke out over the edge. So ideally you would just stamp on here and you'd be away laughing. Just because I had a few issues there, I'm having to do it this way. And since we're sticking paper on, do we want to ink around it? Make it like, yes, I meant to stick this bit of paper on. It was not an accident or to cover up an issue. I don't know if it's going to look funny because of that one rounded corner, but you could round all the corners if you wanted. If, like me, you're having to cover over an oops. But I think that's fine just with the one rounded corner. It kind of makes sense to me. Does it make sense to you? Don't know. Does any of this make sense to you? Probably not. It's one of those days, obviously. Right, so we're going to stick that one there. Phew, gosh, that took way too long, didn't it? Now you can position your stamped images differently. They can all be on the bottom, or you could alternate top and bottom, different sides of the panel, whichever. You could even actually go in the middle. So I might do those two fussy cut in the middle, and then, because that means I don't have to stamp another version of it, and then do the outside corners with the square cut. Again, straightening up what I didn't cut straight first. Now, is the corner rounder going to round this one? So I need to do this corner this time. Well, did a slightly better job this time, but still didn't do it all. Give that the inked edge. And you could stamp different items on each panel. You don't have to use the same one. You could really just vary it in so many ways according to your aesthetic, or, you know, just to make it fun for yourself. It's fun doing different things, isn't it? Not doing the same thing all the time, but just mixing it up. Okay, so we've got those done. I've only got one more that I need to cut, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut it. I do apologize. You can always speed up a few seconds if you want to. It doesn't really take that long. So it's shopping week this week, so I'm looking forward to a day out on Friday to do the grocery shopping. Thursday, food bank day, so that's going to be busy. Wednesday, food bank day, that's going to be busy. So I'm recording this Tuesday, and the video will go up on Thursday, I believe. It's going up on Thursday. So some of these things I'm talking about would have already been and gone. Now, do I want to ink around those? I'm not going to. It may seem a wee strange because I inked around the other two, but you just make it up as you go along, friends. Because they're different, they're cut differently, they're in a different location on the page. I think we can get away with it. That one there, and I could put this one at the bottom, but I'm not going to because both of these are at the bottom. So I'm going to put this one at the top as well. And so for writing on this, the person could write a whole day on this, or they could write a day per panel, or an event per panel, or like a to-do list, a shopping list, a to-watch list, and a something else list, kids' activities, or important notes, or, you know, whatever. So it lends itself to different ways of being used. So we got there. Bit of a mission, but we got there, and that piece is done. So just sliding our band back on with our cute little puppy dogs, and you can sit it wherever you like. I like to put it closer to the top because I envisage that this will go in a pocket or something, and I don't want this to get caught up, so I prefer to have it closer to the top. Isn't that cute? I think it's just really fun and really simple despite the difficulties that I've had. So let's do another one. I've chosen to go with this paper, which I think is so pretty. So we actually need to fold the pattern to the inside, don't we, to get that middle fold going in the right direction. So again, I've inked right around the edge, but I won't do any more inking of the folds on camera. I'll do that off camera. So this one unfolds this way. And this one folds this way. So yeah, fold your pattern to the middle first off, and then your other folds will be easy as. Oops. If you actually fold straight. Mind you, it might be my cutting that's off, not the fold. But when I ink that little white edge that's showing, it's not going to be white, so I'm not going to worry about it. So I'm going to go 3/4 of an inch this time with my band, which I'm pretty sure now is what I did on my prototype. So that, and then our shorter piece, do the same width. I'm going to round the corners though. And I'm thinking, what stamp am I going to use on this one? And whatever stamp I use, I shall test it before I commit it to my item. Learn from my past experience. That's what that's called. Okay, so that's the right way up there. We're going to pop this one on there. So let's go ahead with our tape. Now this one should be okay for this, I think. Oh, gonna have to be careful. I think it's probably a 3/4 inch wide tape. Or not quite. You do have a little wiggle room there. Not much, just a little, enough. Just make sure that's nicely stuck down there. Why do I keep putting things on top of my rubbish bottle? Every time, every video I do it, and then I try and want to put some rubbish in the rubbish bottle, and it's like I've got something sitting on top. Okay, just trim off the excess there. Right, and it's got a slight yellowed mark along the edge, so just going to do it that way round. Whoops, I don't think I put it straight. No, I did not. That's all right. Like when you wrap a present, it's not perfect, often not perfectly straight, is it? Like, it's human, you know, everything's not perfect. So we're just going to run with it. In an ideal world, would I have preferred it to be straight? Absolutely, but it's not. So I'm not going to stress about it. It's still going to look cute. So just popping that over there. Now we need a lovely image to go on top. I think that's the smaller stack of books, which I do love. Let's go with it. I think we can use this wider tape. I haven't inked around it. Let's give it, or do I need to ink around it? I actually like the white on this because everything else is red. So I'm just going to leave it white. Sorry, finish my sentence. So again, only sticking it to this crosswise band, not to this one in the back. Otherwise, you will not be able to open your piece. Okay, so that's that done. So open it out, envisage that it's all inked up, or not if you don't want to ink. Stamp. Should we try a different set? I've got a couple of other sets here. Just having a wee look. How about a reindeer? I've got big reindeer, but I wasn't thinking the big one. Let's just get rid of that. That's just being a nuisance. Like you could put a bigger piece there, but it's going to take up a lot of writing space. What I was thinking about was this wee silhouette here, which I do believe I have used, but I'm still going to test it because now I'm just like super weary, and I just noticed I have not cleaned off my Santa stocking there. Christmas stocking, not Santa stocking. Goodness. So let's put the wee deer on, and I do want this in black. That's a silhouette, so that's makes sense, doesn't it? And I'm just going to grab this wee snippet and do a test. Pretty sure I have used this one. I haven't had these stamp sets very long, so I have not worked my way through them yet. Yeah, that one works beautifully. Perfect. So I'm just going to, I think, put it at the same spot on each panel. So different to what I did previously. Cute. So there's still something of interest on the inside, even though it's basically plain white. Just makes it a little more fun. There we go. We've got a parade of reindeers. We're missing a few though, aren't we? maybe they're in pairs, so like you can't see the one behind them. If this stamp set had a one in reverse, it would be quite cute to then like stamp it up the top on the other side, facing the other way. But unfortunately, stamp sets often don't do a reverse option, do they? They just do one direction and that's it. I know there's techniques for how you can do it the other way, but it's a bit of messing around, and I find it doesn't, in my experience, has never worked very well for me, so I just don't bother. It's like, oh well, I just can't do it. So there's that one. I just think they are adorable. So how are we going on time? I think we've probably done enough that you know the idea. You've seen a couple of different ways to do it. You've seen a different width of your strip, so you can vary it however you like. I think this narrow one actually works beautifully on this more detailed paper because you don't lose so much of the pattern, whereas this one, it's a big pattern, so we're not losing a lot of that pattern and it makes a bolder statement. So I wish I had my prototype to show you, but it's floating around somewhere in this room. Who knows where? I'll find it probably after Christmas. Thanks for joining me, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this simple little idea and won't have quite so much trouble as I did. But who knows? Have a great day, friends, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.